The Chinese Grand Prix weekend started with a bang and ended in absolute chaos. Lewis Hamilton took pole in the sprint, dominated the race, but by Sunday, everything had unravelled. Hamilton and Leclerc both found themselves in deep trouble, and what happened next revealed secrets neither wanted us to see. 2 disqualifications, 1 massive technical failure, and a glimpse into Ferrari's SF-25 that no one expected. But what really went wrong? And what did we just learn about this car that Ferrari's been trying to hide? Today, we're breaking down the controversy, the setup mistakes, and the hidden design flaw that could haunt Ferrari for the rest of the season. Stick around, because the real story, it's not what made headlines. On Friday, Ferrari's SF-25 looked like a serious contender, fast, balanced, and perfectly tuned for the unique challenges of Shanghai's demanding circuit, a track that tests everything from top-end speed to high downforce stability. With freshly laid asphalt and a mix of corners designed to expose even the smallest weakness, Ferrari came prepared. They ran a 2-element beam wing, a configuration they've trusted since Bahrain, optimized to extract every bit of performance out of the car's rear end without sacrificing straight-line speed. And it worked. During sprint qualifying, Hamilton, driving that finely tuned Ferrari, was dominant in the high-speed sections, especially the tricky turns 1, 2, and 3, where precision is everything. The car finally looked settled, no rear-end snap, no nervous moments. Ferrari had nailed it. Sure, there were still signs of weakness. Low and medium speed corners exposed a bit of vulnerability, something McLaren took full advantage of with their higher downforce setup. Even Leclerc warned about it before the weekend began, but when the lights went out for Saturday's sprint, Ferrari's gamble paid off. Low ride heights, light fuel loads, and free air, everything worked in their favour. Hamilton could push without torturing his tyres, and suddenly Ferrari looked unstoppable until everything changed, because after the sprint, the rules shifted. Parc Ferme reopened. Every team got one last chance to tweak their setups before qualifying. Some teams, like McLaren, made huge leaps forward. Ferrari, not so much. Hamilton and Leclerc slipped down the order, struggling to find that same magic. But why? What happened between Saturday and Sunday that broke Ferrari's momentum and exposed the hidden flaw in their setup strategy? The answer reveals something Ferrari didn't want anyone to see, and it goes far deeper than just a bad setup call. So, what really happened to Ferrari in China? It all comes down to 2 fundamental problems that have haunted them since the start of the season, and both are dangerously connected. Problem 1. The SF-25 has to run extremely low, especially at the rear, to make its floor and diffuser work properly. That's where most of their downforce comes from. If the car isn't low enough, the entire aerodynamic platform collapses. Problem 2. A serious lack of rear grip, both mechanical and aerodynamic. Now, this sounds familiar because it's the same issue Ferrari faced back in 2022. When the FIA clamped down on floorwear with Technical Directive 039, Ferrari was one of the hardest hit teams, and those ghosts have come back to haunt them. This year's SF-25 relies so heavily on floor-generated downforce that they've sacrificed rear wing load. In the sprint, that low ride height worked. The car was fast, balanced, and stable, but the moment they raised it or shifted balance to protect the tyres, it fell apart. The diffuser design made things worse. While other teams went for a pointed keel that maintains downforce at different ride heights, Ferrari stuck with a simpler rounded design. Great when slammed to the ground, but useless when raised. And when the rear stops working, the SF-25 turns into a front-heavy nightmare, pointy, unpredictable, and chewing through tyres. Ironically, Leclerc proved it by accident after damaging his front wing early in the race. He lost around 25 to 30 points of front downforce, and that made the car more balanced. The reduced front grip matched the weak rear, and suddenly the SF-25 looked quick again. Even Leclerc admitted the damaged car felt better, which says everything you need to know. As for Hamilton, he wasn't so lucky. Ferrari tried shifting the balance forwards to protect the front tyres from graining, but that gamble backfired. He battled understeer early on with a heavy car, and when the fuel burned off, the car flipped into oversteer hell. And then came the final blow: disqualification. Why? Excessive plank wear. Proof Ferrari ran the car too low all weekend, desperately trying to cling to rear down force. According to FIA regulations, the plank thickness must never drop below 9mm due to wear. Hamilton's did. Game over. It's a brutal reminder of the fine line Ferrari is walking. Too low, they risk disqualification. Too high, they lose performance. And right now, there's no easy fix. The same story played out in Australia. Fast on Friday, but forced to raise the car when conditions changed, and the pace vanished. So now Ferrari faces a massive question. Can they solve these issues with upgrades? Or is the SF-25 SF-25's designed to compromise to save? Do they fight for points this season, or shift focus now and start building the car that could finally bring them back in 2026? Whatever they choose, one thing is clear, this fight is far from over. So, Ferrari's weekend in China wasn't just about bad luck. It exposed two of the biggest weaknesses in their 2024 campaign: a car that has to run dangerously low just to survive, and a rear end that simply can't handle the pressure once the balance shifts. And the worst part, these issues aren't going away. We saw it in Australia, we saw it again in China. The moment conditions change, or the car's ride height is forced up, the SF-25 falls apart. Now, Ferrari's got a decision to make. Fast. Do they throw everything at fixing this car, chasing points in a season where every race feels like damage limitation? Or do they make the tough call, write 2024 off, and go all in on 2026, where new rules could finally level the playing field? Either way, what happens next could define Ferrari's future for years to come. What would you do if you were running Ferrari right now? Double down this season, or shift focus to the long game? Let me know in the comments. I'm reading every single one, and if you want more deep dives like this, breaking down the stories most people miss, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because trust me, this season, it's only just getting started.